In this video, I'm going to share with you our full-time RV living expenses for the year of 2024. For those of you that just happened across our channel and don't know us, I'm the Dave half of Dave and Diane throwing caution to the wind. We've been full-time RVers traveling around the country for the last 12 years, a number of years in Class A's and the last few years in fifth wheels, and every year we share our full-time RV living expenses, at least the first 11 years, so it makes sense now for us to share our 12th year expenses. It should go without saying that just because these are our numbers, it doesn't mean they will be your numbers. Everybody has different likes when it comes to food and entertainment. They travel in different kinds of rigs. There's all kinds of variables out there when you live in this lifestyle. What kind of campground you like to stay at? You want to be in resorts or you want to boondock a lot? There's a wide variety, but we're going to share with you our numbers. And the categories that we're going to share with you are categories that we feel most RVers, most full-time RVers are going to have. So we won't go into things like if you have truck payments or car payments or RV payments, or maybe you travel with pets, which we don't now. Those kinds of things you'll just have to throw in yourself to figure out your numbers, what you might live by. So let's just get right into it. The first category that we keep track of is RV maintenance. Now we're in a fifth wheel, and our RV maintenance for the year of 2024 was $3,400. Now, we budgeted $520, which usually every year prior, we stay within that budget pretty well. But in 2024, we opted to switch out our battery bank, and we put in 920 amp hours of lithium batteries. And then we also rewired our electrical panel so we can run one of our ACs off of the inverter. And lithium power, the lithium batteries were a chunk of change. And of course, switching over one AC to the inverter leg was a little bit of money also. So we spent $3,400. That's higher than we typically ever spend. Normally the $500, $520 is more than enough to take care of our maintenance for the year. Now we're going to go into our Ram fuel. So that's the truck that we pull our fifth wheel with. That is a Ram 5500 with a classy chassis hauler body. Some of you may have seen videos on it. So fuel, we budgeted $1,850 on fuel, but we only spent $1,239.80. So not bad. Then Ram maintenance. So we budgeted $1,350. Again, that's a little higher because I figured we were going to put some tires on the truck. And we only spent $732. We still put tires on the front of the truck, but the difference, how we saved some money, was we found some takeoffs. Some worker wood, I don't know what they were. They're the fire department that goes out in the woods, and they're hot shots. And they bought a bunch of new trucks. They took off the tires that were on the trucks, and they put some heavy-duty off-road tires on. So we benefited by buying two of those takeoffs. We saved quite a bit of money. So we spent $732 on Ram maintenance. CRV gas. Now, those of you that know us and watch our channel, you know that we pull the rig with the Ram 5500, but Diane follows behind in a CRV. So we've been traveling with two different cars, with a car and a truck now for the last few years. We budgeted $1,100 for gas, and we actually spent $967.39. So we were under budget there as well. CRV upkeep. We budgeted $120. That's usually enough for an oil change and whatnot, but we needed to get a new battery for the CRV last year. So that put us at $319. So normal oil changes and then the new battery, $319, so a little bit over budget. Now this is something that I probably shouldn't have put on here because everybody's insurance costs are going to vary across the board depending on how old your rig is, what type of rig, your, I don't know, credit scores, I don't know what all goes into it, all kinds of things. But we budgeted $2,800 for our insurance for our full-time RV, full-time insurance for the RV, the truck, and then the CRV. And it turned out to be $3,043. So insurance went up. Imagine that. So $3,043 for insurance, but that's going to be hard to judge between everybody out there. Propane. We budgeted $180 for propane. Say propane 25 times in a row. So we budgeted $180 in propane. We only spent $96. The only thing on our coach that's propane is our furnaces and our water heater if we're boondocking. So most of the year we were hooked up, so we didn't use fuel propane for our water heater, and we didn't run the furnaces very often. So yeah, $96 on propane. Dish TV. Now it's going to seem a little odd. We budgeted $1,272. We only spent $598, and then the reason for that is we cut Dish TV off. We are now streaming our TV, so we cut Dish TV off early in the year, and now we're just streaming. Food budget. So eating in, anything we buy and bring home to eat, basically, right? We go grocery shopping, come home, we make it at home. It's food in. We budgeted $6,600 for the 12-month period for a year. We spent $6,731.94. Over budget again. We're over budget every single year. Hang around toward the end. I'm going to share a couple categories because I keep track of everything for the 12 years on the road. I'm going to share with you our eating expense or our food budgets from 2012, 2013. We hit the road all the way up till now. But anyway, eating in, $6,700, $6,731.94. This drives me crazy. Food out, doesn't matter. If we go to a restaurant, we stop off and get an ice cream cone, anything like that, that's food out. Now we budgeted for food out $3,000, typically $250 a month, and we spent $2,252.75. Under budget, but still a lot of money, right? That's that's $9,000 on food, eating out and eating in, and it's just gotten higher every year. One of those things we're going to work on for 2025. Phone and internet, we budgeted $2,904, and we spent $2,924. Pretty easy to know what you're going to spend once you settle into what you're going to have for phones and internet. I will say internet, we do use the T-Mobile home internet system. And we were not one of the people that jumped on the bandwagon or jumped off the bandwagon when they threatened to start using their geofencing and cut us all off if we're travelers. We stayed using them, figure if they cut us off, we'll switch to something else then. So we've been getting internet pretty cheap, $35 a month compared to jumping off and going to Starlink or wherever. So for us, internet's still relatively inexpensive at $35 a month for unlimited. And we stream our TV with it as well. We've had no issues, but $2,924 for phone and internet. I have a phone, Diane has a phone, and our internet. Campground fees, one of the things that we can really spend more money on or less money on. This year, it's going to sound like less than most years we're on the road. And that is because, as some of you know if you follow our channel, in year ago, we picked up a piece of RV property, and we spent a few months on that this last summer, upgrading that property, cutting wood and turning a garage into a casita and everything. So we stayed on that property and saved some money. So I knew we were going to stay on the property, so budgeting was pretty easy. I actually budgeted $6,692, and we spent $6,859 on campground fees. Now, typically, that would be closer to $10,000, and I will share that category with you toward the end of the video. That's one of them I'll share along with the food budget. You get an idea of a long list of a lot of years in a row of our campground fees. Miscellaneous health and laundry. So anything, laundry detergent. If we happen to go to a laundry mat for some reason, which we have our washer dryer on board, that saves us a ton of money. Miscellaneous health, so if I have to buy glasses or anything like that, aspirin, it doesn't matter, it's all in this category, and that's going to vary from person to person drastically. I budgeted $900 and we spent $479.81. Mail. Now I kind of messed up on this because we forgot to pay for our mail forwarding service. We actually paid for it in 2025. I budgeted $230. We do use a mail forwarding service in Oregon, and usually it's $230 what we spend, pretty close to that each year, but we only spent $47. But again, we realized our mistake and we ended up paying for it in January or February, so it's going to be a little bit more money for 2025 because of that. But RV clubs, we don't belong to any. We belong to Escapees. That's the only club we belong to. We did Passport America years ago. We've never jumped on the 1,000 Trails bandwagon. None of that stuff. Escapees, and we spent $49.95. Fifth wheel goodies. So anything. We want to buy a new area rug, a new piece of artwork, new pillows. I don't know, just goodies, right? Something like that. Maybe a new piece here to go underneath this book. I don't know. Anything we buy that's just RV goodies. We budgeted $260 for that. We only spent $33.04. I think a lot of that is we've been on the road 12 years. We have pretty much what we need. We don't do a lot of knick-knack stuff, so we're not looking for knick-knacks from everywhere we go. And we did sit still a lot this last summer working on the property, which, we weren't buying things, we were buying things for the property. Clothing. So we budgeted $750 for clothing, and we actually spent $426.13. We're not much into clothing. I have clothes I've been wearing for over 12 years. I had some of these clothes with us. I think this shirt we hit the road over 12 years ago. So we're not much into the clothing. You know what we spend most of our clothes budget on is shoes. So we both play pickleball. Every year we go through at least one pair of pickleball shoes, and a pair of pickleball shoes is usually over $100. So just between two of us, there's over $200 just in shoes for pickleball, and the rest of it, who knows what it goes to. We're not real stylish. Entertainment. So we budgeted $900 for entertainment. This is something that can vary with everybody drastically, but we spent $225.50. So Diane and I like to hike. We like to ride our bikes. We don't go to shows. We're not big people to go out and do a lot of drinking. And actually in that budget, I had to get a set of tires for my bicycle because I wore out a pair of tires. So that's even in there. So our entertainment is really pretty inexpensive. When we're traveling the country, we see a museum. We will go to museums and things like that, but we're not spending, a lot of money for those museums. They're relatively inexpensive. So for us, $225.50. Household, toilet paper, laundry detergent, dish soap for our dishwasher, coffee pot pods or filters or anything household, dryer sheets if you use them, I don't care, anything household, paper towels, you name it, you get the idea. We budgeted $320 and we spent $256.21. So that's a real quick overlay of the things that we feel most RVers are going to spend money on. And that total came to $30,680.27. We budgeted for those categories $32,647. So in those categories, we were under budget. Now, keep in mind, that's not what we spent. We spent more money on the RV property than I even care to share because we bought the property. We did a bunch of landscaping. We converted our garage into a casita. Hopefully you've seen those videos. If you haven't, maybe check those out on our channel. But that's a rough idea what we spent for 2024. Now I told you I was going to come back and share some things with you, a couple categories, and one of them was food in. So I'm going to start in 2013. We actually hit the road November of 2012 is when we hit the road full time. We went full-time RVing in July of 2012. I didn't stop working until September of 2012, and we left on November of 2012 full-time traveling. So 2013, what we spent for food in was $4,163. 2014 is $4,893. 2015, $4,829. 2016, $4,603. In 2017, I think we did the East Coast that year. We spent $5,189. And then in 2018, $5,657. 2019, back down to $4,842. Then in 2020, when did COVID hit? Then 2020, we spent $6,659 just on food in. And in 2021, we spent $6,371. 2022, $6,678. Once we hit the East Coast, and once COVID hit and the prices went up, they never went back down. That's the way it goes, right? If they can start getting that kind of money, they don't ever give it back, and the expenses went crazy. So that was 2022, right? $6,678. In 2023, $6,378. And then 2024 was the $6,731. Crazy. Now, because we're talking about food, if you're paying attention to those numbers, I'm going to talk about our eating out budget. And typically we've been budgeting, at the beginning of our time on the road, we said $200 a month, and I think we finally raised it to $250 a month. In 2013, eating out, restaurants, anything like that, we spent $2,971. 2014, $2,890. 2015, $2,677. 2016, $2,707. You can see it's pretty easy for us to set a budget. We are pretty much creatures of habit. We live a certain lifestyle, and we don't vary from that. So other than going to different parts of the country or something happening in the economy, whether it be the diseases in the chickens for the eggs or that cow disease going on or whatever else, we're pretty much creatures of habit. We don't change a lot. All of a sudden, we don't start going out for caviar and big steaks. We're still the same people doing the same things. And then 2017, which I think was the year went to one of the years went to the East Coast, $3,041. 2018, $2,332. 2019, $3,489. And 2020, $2,087. 2021, $3,166. And then in 2022, $4,062. 2023, $2,925. And 2024, as I mentioned, eating out $2,252. So $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $9,000 to $10,000 the last few years of what we've been spending on food between eating in and eating out. Blows me away, pisses me off. It's too much money. So 2025, if you can subscribe and hang around. 2025, I told Diane we're gonna stop doing what we're doing. We're gonna shave some money off this. I understand that 2025 food prices have been going up for whatever reason, tariffs, chicken diseases, cow, whatever. I don't care what it is. Prices are going up. I told Diane we're going to cut $1,000 out of our combined food budget. Eating in, eating out, for food at home and eating out combined, end of the year, we're going to save $1,000, one way or the other. And you come back and see if we do it or not. So anyway, interesting. Hey, what was the other category I told you I was going to share with you? I think I told you I was going to share with you campground fees, right? So here we go. Let's talk about campground fees. And we're going to start in 2013 again. Now, campground fees, we don't look for the cheapest place to camp. but we don't look for the most expensive place to camp either. But we're somewhere in the upper quarter in that range, right? We want to be in a nice spot, but we don't go to an area because of a campground. We go to an area because we want to see the surrounding area. We want to see the sights. But we don't want to stay somewhere dumpy to save a buck. That gives you an idea about us. And we're a fine mix. We don't mind boondocking more at the beginning of our journey. We don't mind boondocking. We don't mind county parks. We don't mind state parks. We spend a fair amount of time in resorts as well. So there you go. In 2013, campground fees, we spent $8,324. In 2014, $6,455. 2015, hold on to your hat, $10,511. Wow. 2016, $7,753. 2017, I think, was the East Coast again. Now, we went to the East Coast. We did look for the nicer campgrounds. We tried to find campgrounds that were nice. We treated that year as a vacation. And for campground fees, in 2017, we spent $11,024. Yes. In 2018, we spent $11,175. In 2019, we spent $9,827. 2020, $10,467. 2021, $11,039. You see those prices going up? We're staying in the same kind of places. Prices are going up. More RVers, supply and demand. Campgrounds are getting those prices up there and up there and up there. There's the prices. 2022, we left here, went up to Maine, went down the East Coast, spent some time in Florida, and came back to Arizona and spent the winter. So we spent a lot of money on campground fees again, staying at nicer campgrounds. But in 2022, $18,440. Crazy money, crazy money. But we had a great year. 2023, we spent $13,847 on campground fees. And in 2024, again, because of the property we picked up in Oregon, and we stayed there for a few months, we only spent $6,859 on campground fees. So that RV property saved us quite a bit of money. But once again, if you say we would have spent $12,000, the extra money to get from $6,859 to $12,000 is far, far less than we paid for that property and all the improvements we did. So we spent a lot of money. It just wasn't on campground fees. Was there anything else I told you I was going to share with you? You know, I don't think I said anything else, so we're gonna cut it at that. The things that have just gotten crazy for us from the very beginning in 2013 to 2024 have been food, which we are going to try to get a better handle on, and campground fees, which unless we start boondocking more, or if we start going to Oregon and hang out at the RV property more, there's not much more you can do about changing that. They're just going to be what they're going to be. And after this year, spending time at the RV property, we want to get back into traveling again. We don't want to hang out at the RV property all summer, but we are going to utilize it this summer in 2025. So there you go. We came back and shared with you our budget, or the money we spent in 2024. Again, those are categories that I think most RVers will have. And I'd be curious, how do we compare? I watch other people's videos on what they spend, and I see some people with food budgets, and I complain about $9,000 a year in that category for food. Man, I see people that are, over half that again on top of it. And I see some people that are less. So how about you? How's your food budget? What are your campground budgets? Campground budgets always get me because I see some people say, oh, we spent, I don't know, $300 on campground fees, and they don't take into account that they're 1,000 trail members. They paid for 1,000 trails membership up front. They have their yearly dues. So I don't know. I kind of take that with a grain of salt. That's what we pay. No memberships. So I don't know. That category always gets me when I watch other people's videos. You never know how to take it, but our numbers are without any memberships. Okay, that's probably long enough. I shared them. Give me your thoughts. What do you think about that? Do you think I'm crazy for wanting to shave another $1,000 off the food budget? Diane kind of thinks I'm crazy. She doesn't like dealing with it. I kind of have fun trying to save some money like that. Watching ads. Some of the things I've done already is, I've taken caffeine out of my diet for health reasons. So I don't drink tea all the time. And I was always buying jugs of tea. Popcorn. We always bought bags of popcorn. Now we buy kernels of popcorn. We just went to the store and bought food. Now I'm watching ads. We're watching for coupons. We're watching these digital coupons. We're trying to be techie and figure that out. And it's working. Actually, right now I'm doing this video. It's March. In the first 3 months, we're probably $500 under what we spent the first 3 months of 2024. So, hey, it's fun for me. But let me know what you think about our budget. Do we compare pretty even with you or not? Or maybe you're people thinking about going full-time RVing, and hopefully these numbers help you a little bit. Okay, I'm done rambling. As always, if you enjoyed this video at all, how about a thumbs up? Maybe consider subscribing. Leave us a comment. It really helps our channel. YouTube looks at those things. The simple thing is hitting that thumbs up button. Doesn't cost you a penny. Subscribing doesn't cost you a penny. Leaving a comment doesn't leave you a penny. Doesn't cost you a penny. YouTube sees it. They help push our videos out to more people. And not only do I enjoy seeing our numbers grow, but we're monetized. And we do get $60, $70, $80 a month because people watch our videos. Some people make a living off of it. We don't. It's a hobby for me. But the thumbs up, leaving a comment, and subscribing is a cheap way to help us out. All right. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next video.